Hello. Hello, hello, my fellow sensitive people. Love and light to you all. Good seeing you here. There are 58 of us. I didn't know if we were going to have a big crowd or a small crowd because they're still doing the impeachment hearing right now. So I just wanted to start off by giving gratitude to everybody who watches the show. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Our moderator, Kathy, is here. And also to thank everybody that called, sent me emails that they were worried about me. That was very kind. That was very sweet. I think that the energy in Los Angeles has been, there's a lot of grief and a lot of sadness in the country, in the nation, and it's all concentrated on LA. Since the Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 other people passed away. So I think that that was part of what was going on. You know, you walk past people, if they're in grief because the person next to them is in grief. It doesn't matter why a person's in grief. If you're sitting in a room full of people that are in grief, human beings are such social creatures, we're going to start feeling one another's suffering and grief. And that really goes back to heart-centered remote viewing, the point that I've been trying to make, which is we can intellectualize that we shouldn't have empathy. Oh, Laurel, thank you. What a sweet thing to do. Thank you for the donation. We can say, oh, I don't have any empathy for this person. I don't have any empathy for that person. But when you're a heart-centered remote viewer and you're sitting next to people that are in grief, you will start feeling grief and say, oh, I feel grief. I feel grief. I feel sad. I feel horrible. And then it's very hard if you're a heart-centered remote viewer to convey that has nothing to do with how you vote politically or anything like that. So a lot of, I think, what was going on is just the grief of the city over the death of Kobe Bryant. It's interesting. All of the public buses say "Rip Kobe" on them. So you'll be walking down the street and the buses are all saying "Rip Kobe." And of course, everybody is like depressed getting on the buses. So it reminds me a lot of how I felt when Princess Diana died, where everybody was crying. People were glued to the TV, and then it was just making us more sad. And then how the whole planet seemed to be collectively mourning during her funeral. So it's been a lot like that. And I think the other thing is just, seeing people in the Senate that know better, that I'm waiting for the brave knights. We're waiting for somebody to grow some cojones and do the right thing. And instead, it just seems like everybody's just worried about their reelection. Oh, is this going to hurt me in Iowa? Oh, is this going to hurt me in Michigan? And, why did you run for the Senate? Did you run for the Senate so that you could could be a career politician or a career criminal? I mean, it reminds me of that experiment that was done. I think it was in the 60s where they, remind me what the name of the experiment was, where they, hello, John, good to see you. Where they pressured the people in the experiment to push a button that they thought was delivering an electric shock to somebody, but it was just an actor. And because they were bullied, they pushed the button, and the actor, knowing that it was going to kill the person, and the actor pretended like he was being electrocuted. Does anyone remember what the name of that experiment was? That's how it feels when you go into this energy with this president and with Mitch McConnell, where people are just being bullied into doing something that they inherently know is wrong. So it's interesting. Last night I did a remote. I was listening to some really nice drumming music. and trying to put myself in the shoes of what it is to be a Republican senator, and I felt this horrible pit in my stomach that was rising from the third chakra to the fourth chakra, which is interesting because those of you who are heart-centered remote viewers know that those are the chakras we use in order to sense and to direct where the emotions are, where the energy is, and then to connect with the heart, the emotions of somebody else. So this is our whole gig. If you're a heart-centered remote viewer, is we're using the third and fourth chakra. So when I connect to the third and fourth chakra of the Republican senators, you can go ahead and give it a try and see if you don't feel the same thing. I get a horrible gnawing pit in my gut and this closed, horrible feeling in my heart. So that on some level, I know voting to acquit is wrong, and yet I'm going to do it anyway. So, you know, you can't help but wonder, where's the courage? Anybody else take a moment and just put yourself in the shoes of what it is to be a Republican senator right now. And then I want you to tune into your gut, open spirit, and ask permission to access and connect with them. But you're in from a place of love. You don't want to judge them. And how does your gut feel right now as you sit in the seat of a senator who's on the fence that is on the GOP side? Feels pretty awful. Feels like heartburn, doesn't it? Oh, thank you, Janie. That's very sweet. I think we're going to, with your permission, Janie, I think we're going to continue to give to Australian relief. It's, yeah, Wendy, it's a horrible, sickening. And do you feel that acid coming up and the heart starting to close and panic and acid and I can't eat and I'm praying at night and I don't know what to do because what I'm thinking, and my brain is talking to me and telling me, acquit, right? They're all, because we've got all these arguments that sound so logical, right? We've got quote unquote semi-logical arguments coming from the GOP, but my gut and my heart, I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of those folks. But go ahead and give it a shot, mate. Scared for my life. Yeah, diarrhea, can't eat, can't sleep, praying to God at night for guidance. What's interesting about this remote is that it helps you to see that it's not quite, it's not like they're acquitting and it's no big deal, we're acquitting. That's not the energy when you, cognitive dissonance, that's not the feeling I have as I sit in those shoes, right? The feeling I have as I sit in the shoes of a Republican senator is I feel, I don't think I would be able to eat. I mean, this is the guy who's having trouble sleeping at night, who's on his knees at his bed praying, and his wife is worried about him because he won't eat, he won't sleep. And you're looking for somebody to blame, so maybe blame the Democrats, particularly if you're shut off from your third and fourth chakra. Okay, so I just want to start off by giving gratitude to everybody who was kind enough to stop by. Then we're going to do a tarot card blitz and see what Mitch MCConnell is going to do. I also want to say that I did a remote viewing last night, as I said, and I tuned into where the senators were at. And I threw cards, and the cards I got were the Tower over Justice Roberts and over Mitch MCConnell. So either they're going to acquit him and it's going to result in some kind of shocking tower where the nation is going to be outraged, and then there's going to be a huge dump, or there's going to be some kind of dump today or some kind of shock, but there's a shock coming. Either way, I still see Lindsey Graham having that conversation with Donald Trump, asking him to resign. In plainer words, even if he gets acquitted, it's moving in the direction where this president is going to have to resign because it's going to cost them the Senate as more and more leaks and more dumps start to come out. But that cognitive dissonance that's going on, it's hard for me as a remote viewer to even relate to it. Hi, Becca. Good to see you. Hello. It's hard for me to relate to it because as part of my training, I listen to my third chakra and fourth chakra at least several times a day. Also, I get hired to do this for a living. I'm a professional empath, so I'm not disconnected in the way that they are. So it's bizarre, right? All right, now I'm going to say gratitude. Okay, where are we here? We want to give gratitude to Maureen Ho. Welcome, welcome. Becca is in the house. Pierre Walker, hello. Sharon Sipe, thank you for coming along. Barbara Prendergast, you did make it during the live, but we're glad to have you here. Grace is glory. We have to pray for all the senators that they grow courage right now. Christy Place. Hello. Sharon Sipe is in the house. Bad boy Rob. Oh, the possibilities. Good to see you. Larry girl. Hello, hello. Donna Okonowski. Is that correct? Susie the Gemini. Very nice. Astrid Hamilton. Welcome back, Astrid. Good to see you. Martha Spillman is here. Teresa Horsley is here. Marie Olga. Catherine the Elder. Very nice. The Tassel Hit 13. Yes, you caught me live. Very nice. Carolyn K is in the house. Nikki T. Christine T. Just a couple more seconds. I heard that. I sometimes remote you guys. And it's like, when is she going to get on with the reading? How long is this going to go on for? Let me take a little bit longer. We're going to get there. Patricia Clough. Hello. Kristen T. Justin's in the house. Verdecton from DC. Yes. I would be curious, Verdecatron, if the protests are gathering outside the White House for impeachment and witnesses. I heard they were getting big, but I don't know. City Girl. Hello. I think we already said hi to Maureen Ho. Kathy W. is our moderator. Carolyn K. Laura Vescovi. I'm going to keep saying hi to people, but I hear you all. Fellerin is in the house. Yes, I know. Twin Flames. We got some very nice donations for the channel, and we give gratitude as well for that. Okay, let's get started. So, like I said, there's a tower coming. We don't know what that's about. So, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do a general shuffle for the nation. We'll do a quick prayer, and then I'm here for an hour doing blitzes. And my time is your time. All right. Let's do it. You know the prayer. We'll do it together. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us to make the best decisions for ourselves, for our families, for the planet, the people we love, and to even help those we have strife with. And together, let us say, Amen. All right, I'm going in. I will go as fast as I can, I promise. Yeah, I'm better. Thank you for your kindness. It It was a sad couple days here in Los Angeles. Kobe Bryant was somebody who proved to the world that people can change. You know, he became a philanthropist. It's very sad. Where we are at right now, double aces. We have an ace of wands, which is victory, that we will, there seems to be some might. You know, they say might makes right. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm right or wrong. If I've got more power than you, I'm going to be right. And we're just waiting. Are they going to stand up to the bully, or are they going to push the button and kill off the prisoner? You know, like, who is going to stand up and say, this is insanity? Is anybody going to be the hero? Energetically, because we don't read the future as remote viewers, I don't believe that things are fated. I reject the fatalistic philosophy. We follow the energy about its most likely conclusion. And the most likely conclusion is that even if they acquit, the people rise up. You can see a nice Ace of Cups moving in. What is the best thing? What is the best card chart that you can get? Double aces, right? If it's a double aces as an outcome, if it's a double aces as a base, what's the base? If you wind up with, if you're pulling two bases, it's the base. It's the fundamental point of the entire reading. In plainer words, if you only have time, you say, you know what, we gotta quit because I gotta go pick up my cat at the vet, and I just pull the bases. You've pretty much summed up the reading by the bases. And so, for us as a community, as a country, I like the fact that we pulled double aces. Would everybody agree that that's probably a pretty good sign, right? Double aces, right? I'm seeing some thumbs up here. All right. I know my readers are doing the happy dance. I can see Becca. She's probably doing a little jig somewhere, right? Delicious. Hi, it's from Christine. So, the worst that's going to happen is they acquit, and then the American people rise up, and then we take the House and the Senate, and we take back the country. It's almost would be better if they would acquit him, because it will create so much anger and outrage that we'll probably have a better win in November. Juicy to find out how we get to a double aces. You saw me shuffle. All right, let me take my notes out of the way. You won't be able to read my handwriting anyway. I'm a doctor. Doctors have terrible handwriting. All right, where we are right now. The experts are arguing, right? We have a nice mastery card here. I feel like this needs to come closer so that you all can see it. Double aces as the base, mastery, academics, intellectuals, the person who is perfecting the situation, who wants to get it right. What crosses it? Justice Roberts. The justice card is over the situation. So this is the greatest intellectual minds. That's what it looks like here, debating this. What is above us? The King of Pentacles in the fourth house. And then what sits below us? The King of Wands. So there's a debate between two sides. Look at this. Two sides and then Trump. Look at that. We celebrate. There's a celebration coming. This is Adam Schiff's card. If it's a tie vote, I think Roberts will vote for witnesses. Hopes and fears. People are really afraid that the nation will not come together with the Knight of Cups. Final outcome, justice. The clarification, anger, hanging it up, hopes and fears, the chain. The final outcome, the sacred contract. Justice and the sacred contract. It doesn't matter in the end. It doesn't matter how they vote because justice wins, the sacred contract comes in, and we pull double aces as a base. Something is about to happen. It could be that Roberts grows some cojones and stands up and does the right thing. Or somebody just starts dumping portions of Bolton's book publicly. Like they take swabs of it and they just start dumping it to all the news agencies the night before. Let's take a look and see if there's going to be some news leaks, because that's word about Julian Assange. Yeah, I did a remote viewing on Julian Assange, and he gave a confession, and he also he gave up everything. Julian Assange did. My concern about Julian Assange is that they were withholding necessary medical aid, and that I wonder if that's even legal. All right, we can go into Julian Assange. Let me make a note of that, because you're right, that was an odd remote viewing and I didn't go into it too much. So we can look at Julian Assange today. What were we going to look at? Sorry. Were we looking at Justice Roberts next? Oh, Ron Paul. Yeah, he stopped him. The dumping of parts. Oh, yes. Thank you. Dumps from the press. Thank you. The older I get, just me and 700 close friends. And a lot of you have become really good friends. I've made so many friends. I really think this channel has saved me. I was not a happy girl here in LA, but I have met so many amazing. I've just met so many amazing people. My friend Ursula, who I met through the channel, we went for a beautiful hike. She made me hug a tree yesterday. Cash Peters has become a dear friend. So yeah, it's really pretty great having. And just the fact that I got like 100 emails yesterday. You're such kind people. I'm very lucky that I have you in my life. I mean that. All right, is there going to be a dump? Let's look at what the press is doing. Ooh, I think something's coming. Might be portions of the book. Going to be leaked early. Oh, Washington Post is doing something. Something's going on with the Washington Post. I love Cash Peters. I have to talk to him about how he edits his stuff. I need some advice because I don't know how to do all that fancy editing. But I've grown totally addicted to Cash Peters' channel. Have you all checked it? He does blitzes, but he's a visionary empath. So it's so cool because you get to see these drawn visionary descriptions of his visions, and he does it in 5 minutes or less. So it's just really fun. Yeah, I've totally gotten addicted to his channel. Okay, let's look at the dumps. Definitely something is going on with the Washington Post. They're working on a major story because when I go into the energy and I meditate on the Washington Post or I meditate on the New York Times, I'm getting pulled to the Post. So this is, again, a technique you can use for those of you who are learning heart-centered remote technique. Check in with your stomach, your third chakra, your fourth chakra, and then look for energy with the question, and then see where you get pulled to. New York Times, maybe, yes, something being dumped, portions of the book maybe being dumped, stories that are not totally complete, but possibly incomplete portions of future articles could be released, shorter versions of longer versions that are coming out because they're not ready to publish everything. More of a heartbreak coming in for the Republicans. There's a 9 of Swords. Remember what I said about the Republican senators having trouble at night sleeping, praying to God, feeling pressure to do something that they don't entirely feel good about, knowing that this is going to be pulled, taken off the rails if they do this. They keep moving the goalpost. Now the president is the state. So the light is going to be shined. You can see the Hermit's card going around with the light. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh, yeah, it was drained. What do we have here? A treasure trove of information. We can see a nice 9 of Pentacles. Look how many stories they're holding right now. Behind the Veil. I love the Rider-Waite deck because I see the woman's skirt as a veil, a spiritual veil, and it's what's behind the hidden veil. And she's holding on to all of these pentacles, and pentacles have an aspect of mystery to them, like the Queen of Pentacles is the mysterious queen. So there's a feeling that something is hidden behind the veil, documents hidden behind the veils, looking for information. Really good investigative reporting going on right now. Mila's sleeping, or she'd come say hi to everybody. They're looking for multiple options. You can see a 7 of Cups moving in. Which one do we pick? It's not like it's one story. It's multiple stories. 4 of Wands, a strong foundation, celebration, April time. King of Wands moving in with a Lover's card. There are people coming forward that were part of Trump's administration that are secret leakers that have been giving a steady flow of documents to the Washington Post and also to the New York Times. It's kind of interesting that historically was the same paper that was getting leaks when Nixon was impeached. And here we have again this deal with this person who looks almost like a deep throat individual. Either it's John Kelly or somebody that appears to have been a former member of the administration who seems to be secretly dealing some sacred contract. And it looks like it's one newspaper like the Post I'm picking up, possibly New York Times as well, and 10 of Cups coming out. Exposure, a feeling that also, it goes back to what we keep getting from British intelligence, that the Wheel of Fortune is moving out in the sense that the cog keeps turning closer to the inevitable, the hope and the fears that the thief will get away with it, right? The thief's card in the 9th house, and then the final outcome, walking away. Let's do a clarification. A new beginning. A poverty card in the 8th house, the hope and the fear, the Knight of Cups, and a new partnership. So there's a ton of leaks coming. And what's interesting is that unlike the deep throat during the Nixon administration, this looks more like multiple people leaking. There's so many leaks. There's so many leakers. It's almost like they have an entire team that's just dealing with Trump White House leaks. And there's also White House leakers that are working with the Justice Department that have been leaking directly to the New York Times. I am curious to look at Barb just because Barb's cards have been really bizarre. How are we doing? Everybody okay? Yeah, it's weird. It's really, really weird. It's like multiple stories, multiple things they're holding on to. The investigation is they're still collecting stuff. A contract with a mystery man, the King of Wands. Stress, but then you can see the Six of Swords moving in with the two base cards. Yeah, thank you, Courtney. You're amazing as well. And then the fruits that are the result of a partnership. The fruits that are the result of a partnership, Two of Wands. Okay. Justice Roberts, let me start writing notes because there was a few questions. Yeah, it's a story avalanche coming. The State of the Union. Let's just see about the State of the Union. Anything else? I have not done one on Trump's secretary. I don't see another impeachment. Linda G has a cold and flu, so if everybody could send healing white light to Linda G and we send her our love and hope she feels better soon. She's a nurse. Nurses and doctors I can't speak for nurses, but I can tell you doctors were horrible patients. We don't want to listen to anybody. Oh, speaking of that, after 2 o'clock, I'll be back at the. I'm creating another batch of the tea, and so the second shipment of tea is going out for people that want tea. But if you want me to send you a batch of the antiviral tea, I need to know really, really soon because at 2 o'clock, I'm making the new batch and trying to get everything out by 4 o'clock today for the people that ordered tea. All right, so, Julian Assange was the next question. Yeah, sending white light and healing to Linda G. We love her and we want her to feel better soon. Okay, Julian Assange. How you doing, Julian Assange? So there was something about the fact that I feel like when I go into Julian Assange's energy that my medical care or something was denied, that I was not allowed to get something I needed. If he was addicted to prescription pain pills, or if he had a medical condition that required him to be on prescription pills, but I feel like there's a question about the morality of me being allowed medical care or proper treatment. Also, hallucinations. I sometimes I sleep a lot and I spend a lot of time in my hallucinations. There's something about extradition here, 3 of Wands with the 2 of Swords. He's concerned about possibly being deported or sent out of Britain to another country, but this is not looking like the United States. For some reason, I'm seeing Australia. He is given the ability to communicate with people again. It could be lawyers, friends, etc. His friendships are priceless, he says to him. It's priceless to him. His contacts, his communication. So it's like they give him pen and paper. I don't know if they're giving him a computer, but pen and paper, where he's able again to communicate. Thank you, Larry, the Buddha boy. It's very sweet of you. What is above him? The Hierophant. So some kind of spiritual strength he's drawing on. His relationships with people have become very, very important because it's a small group of people he communicates with or writes. And it's actual pen and paper, and I think they read his stuff before they send it, as opposed to communicating by computer. And then this might be his lawyer. They're trying to get him moved. They're trying to get him moved to some kind of facility where he can get certain types of medical attention. And messages. Remember the veil, hidden behind the veil, the child behind the veil. So does he have children? A feeling like people are coming and giving him messages from family or children, or there's some kind of communication going on. He gave it up. 5 of Swords. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to him right now is these friendships, family, getting to a facility where he can get the medical care he needs. The political stuff is taking a back seat. There's a feeling like the British intelligence has everything they need from him. It's almost like they're ready to close this case and now send him off, possibly deporting him to Australia. Hopes and fears, the sun coming out, and then the final outcome. I'm sorry, it does not bode well for Julian Assange. I think he's going to be shipped back. You see the cards here. You see the spirituality here, power, writing people, veiled information, inheritance, but also a possible relationship with one's children, or behind the veil, somebody communicating from the family, possibly a lawyer or business associate working with him. Walking away, self-examination. This is the other most likely, the intelligence agencies that are involved in interrogating him, confusion and death. They feel like they've collected, they're closing this case. But you can see here devastation and a move, that he's being transported, and here is across the water. He's being transported across the water. The 2 of Swords is moving in as well. So very shut down, very, very shut down. And you can see the final outcome, 10 of Swords, with the deportation or being moved. If it's the United States, I would be surprised, because I really am seeing more Australia. Okay, that is Julian Assange. Psychological torture. Yeah, very sad. Oh, okay, Justice Roberts next. Yes. Justice Roberts is an Aquarian. I looked. He's also the King of Swords, air sign male. I love Aquarians. I have great relationships with Aquarians, but they're not always emotionally available. All right, let's take a look. How are we doing on time? Let's take a look at Justice Roberts. Justice Roberts. Susan Collins is telling me no. She doesn't want witnesses. the peacemaker, the mediator coming in, and then the Five of Pentacles, which is the poverty card. He's making a judgment. He feels like he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. You can see the Eight of Swords over him. People are going to celebrate either way on, the Republican celebrating or the confused about the decision. He's actually does feel some confusion about this. He's open to witnesses. There's fighting in the Senate. Let me take a minute here. He would rather that the Senate decide. He would rather not be, he would like this decision to be taken out of his hands. This is Mitch McConnell. What I don't like about these cards is it could be a feeling like he's the fool just trust Roberts. Roberts just trust Mitch McConnell and moves on with a Chariot card. Like, well, I trust you. People know what you're doing. I'm out of here. That's the worst case scenario. So I just want to do another throw on Roberts, and then I want to do a throw on Mitch McConnell, because I saw that tower yesterday, and I didn't know if the tower was happening because they acquitted him or because they didn't, because people called for witnesses. Let's go one more time. Permission from Spirit to access records. What is Roberts most likely to do in the coming days? Is the decision taken out of his hands, or is he the tie vote? Yeah, he doesn't want to be a part of this, which to me is really irresponsible. How could you not want to be a part of it when you're the judge? See, stress at night, cutting it off. This is somebody who does not want to be in the middle of this. Scholar. He's discussing it with another scholar. There's a discussion with somebody else. And this is the judge's card, Yehuda. Back and forth. Again, the academics, the thief, the hope and the fear, the future of the land, strong. If it's a tie, Roberts is going to vote for witnesses, but he would rather not be put in that position. I don't like the feeling of weakness I get with Roberts. I feel like the courage we need, he doesn't express the courage we need, and that's disconcerting. But because I got the tower twice last night when I was looking, I think there's going to be some serious dumps happening. And the fact that they keep using imagery like 10 of Cups and let's negotiate, and we could find ourselves in a situation where we're in the judge's chambers negotiating witnesses. But I don't like the fact that when I go into right now, Susan Collins Energy, and she's telling me, no, I can't, she can't justify this continuing on. I mean, I don't know what they're smoking, but let's do Susan Collins next. We all know what Mitch McConnell wants to do. You know, he has the opportunity to be the brave knight, and he chooses not to. All right, what's going to be with Susan Collins? I have my moon is in Aquarius, so that's why I love the sciences. Okay. Susan Collins. What is the future of Susan Collins? Let's come in. There's something going on with her with the devil card in the base, with the Hierophant. There's some kind of an unhealthy relationship or commitment there. That can be codependency, it can be addiction. Excuse me. Academics. She could be making deals for her state, financial deals. See, she's in a no state. Her third house is the Four of Cups, so that would denote rejecting offer. She's not in an open state. Ace of Wands. She's a very confused person. Double aces. You know, it could be a situation where she does the right thing, or she believes she's doing the right thing. Double aces is pretty positive. I don't like the fact that she's got that devil card. Like, change to an unhealthy relationship with an authoritative figure. There is this retracted energy. You see her fourth house and her third house refusing. So whatever decision she's made, she's not open to changing it. That could possibly bode well if she's decided that she wants witnesses. And then we can see here strife and confusion. Doesn't know what to choose. Dealing with issues of strength or power issues with somebody else. It could be Mitch McConnell will go in and access his records next. And then the hopes and fears, her relationships, her connection with other powerful women has been strained because of this relationship. Hanging up, Three of Cups can often be female friendships. But then we see her coming into an Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. So I think she's going to try and find some way to compromise, or she's trying to find a way. They could try and negotiate. They may be pressured into witnesses with those cards. I got to look at Mitch McConnell, because Mitch McConnell thinks he's got the votes. So to acquit the president. It's interesting, right? Talk about an unrealized astrological chart when you look at Mitch McConnell, somebody who dared to not be great. Somebody who could have been great. He's a Pisces. He could have been the peacemaker. He could have been the person that did the right thing. Mitch McConnell. That was Michael's daughter. She and I are exchanging vegan recipes. Okay. Mitch McConnell. It's this feeling like the Democrats, he says the Democrats are cherry picking. I don't know why he's saying that, but this concern that he's going to open up a can of worms. He keeps also talking about opening a can of worms. Got the tower again. Something is going to happen that is going to shake things up. You can see here again, the tower is over Mitch McConnell, trying to keep some type of civil war or major fight in the House and the Senate. And problems with Nancy. He's talking about Nancy, something that Nancy Pelosi has done. Information coming out, potentially hidden information. He's trying to negotiate keeping information from coming out. Look at that, suppression. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. See, they're trying to do a one-for-one witnesses. In plainer words, what's secretly going on with him? There's Pelosi. Look at that. His fear, his hope. He's got a little bit of a thing for her. It's like he admires her. He looks to the female. In the Rider-Waite, the man looks to the female for guidance, and she looks to God. She's the direct link because she's the one that gives birth to children, and so she's a vessel. So she's the vessel. This is different than the traditional Christian view where men are close to Jesus and the woman needs him to get to Jesus. That's the patriarchal view. But in the matriarchal view, she is the vessel that brings forth life, and he looks to her as an avenue to get to God. And it's associated with some kind of deal and Nancy Pelosi. The people are not going to be happy unless there are witnesses. He may be pressured to do witnesses, and then he may try and go into the judge's chamber and negotiate one for one because of this tower right over him. So people in the Senate are starting to become hysteric, and he may have to negotiate because of it. Something about documents, hidden documents being released. Again, Pentacles I read as hidden documents. Also, it's Earth, so it could be actual physical documents. Clarification. He gets his wish. The start is over. Yeah, this is like civil war. He's going to try and negotiate it. He's going to try and control. If there are witnesses, if people are like, we've got to have witnesses, then his tactic could be, okay, you want witnesses? Let's negotiate one for one. If people are saying we've got to have witnesses to save face, those of us that are in swing states, he will try to control how that looks. No, Manchin is very curious. I did a remote view on Manchin, and he wants to vote yes for witnesses, but he's in a swing state, so he's very clever. Yes for witnesses. I'd be open to Hunter Biden. Oh, yeah. Hunter Biden. That's why I'm voting yes. I'm voting yes because Hunter Biden. Yeah. West Virginia is backing you on that. You go do that. See, yes. And he has to be very judicious because of the state that he's in. All right, I think we're going to close up. I have time for one more question, then I'm going to have to go into session. I have a patient, I have a phone call, phone reading. Are we done? All right, one more throw. Want to look at Barr? All right, let's look at Trump because people are asking a lot about Trump and his DNA. And did they have his DNA? Okay, Barr. Let's look at what is going on with William Barr, and then we're going to be done. What's going on with William Barr? William Barr, what is going on with William Barr? I saw him handing over documents. If they do go for witnesses, it's going to be on the agreement that it's Mitch Mcconnell's rules. He is removing people from his life. You can see a 5 of Cups there. This is somebody who has lost allies. I think right now Barr has lost some allies. Look at all the scholarship. Everybody, all these lawyers. Ace of Cups, a peace offering, heartbreak, 2 of Wands, hanging it up. I think he's done with the president. Putting this behind him. If he still has to work with this president, but there's a feeling that things have changed. You can see action, reaction, hanged man. The Queen of Swords comes to put the past behind her due to heartbreak, being betrayed by a partnership. An Ace of Cups comes in. The bigger picture. Victory, 6 months. Gets his wish regarding... He keeps talking about wanting to get back to work. He's a true conservative in the sense that he does feel that he's on a mission, but look at that. Look at these documents. Keeps talking about some kind of documents or information coming out. And heartbreak. He's going to have to put some stuff behind him or cooperate or something like that, just because of how his cards look. Wow. Wild times we live in. Yeesh. Problems in Australia too. I love Australia. I'm in bliss when I'm in Australia, but it's also because, you know, Michael was there and we had a nice vacation, but Australia is a very special part of the world. I do really well there. I feel really good when I'm there. All right, love and light to everybody. If you're still trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. If you need to get some antiviral tea, I'm making another big batch. It's getting shipped out today. And hopefully you'll get it in the next few days. If I sent you a PayPal bill, if you already ordered and I sent you a PayPal bill, please pay your PayPal bill because I have something like 11 people that haven't paid their PayPal bill yet. Don't make me come after you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Love and light. See you next time. Peace out. All that good stuff. Bye.